Glenn, I'll ask you a more direct question. Your social media, at least for me, has become a bright spot during the isolation period.
Oh, I'm overwhelmed to hear that because it's so homemade.
Well, I mean, I sent the Biden mask out to, I think, everybody that I knew. It was I had to do a double take on that. Has it become a creative outlet for you during this isolation period?
It can be. I get all worked up and do a couple of them. Yeah, it has been. As long as I don't let it kind of take me over. But a lot of them I just wanted to try to make myself laugh, and some of them, they've been fun to do.
Conversely, Amy, for you, are you surprised that after 20 years, Drop Dead Gorgeous still gets all of these memes and quotes created for it, and people are still streaming it and so loving that film?
Yes and no, because yes, it's always surprising when something you've done, especially at the beginning of your career, keeps getting a new life. But no, because I am constantly quoting the film, so it doesn't surprise me. Like I quote, I think I say this all the time, especially when I've been made to look like this, where I am always like, oh, lights, camera, action, and me without a stitch of makeup. It's like, there's so many things I say, like, she's skinny, she's not deaf. Like, I can keep going, but there's so many moments that I say from that film. So that doesn't surprise me because there's something about that film and where it connected. It was before its time, but I'm so proud that was my first film.
So I can't help but feel like had any two other actresses been cast in this film, not one critic would be using the term Oscar bait to describe it. Was that something that you both anticipated? And what do you want your fans to know about this film?
It's never a consideration when I'm accepting a role, like where it will end up and at what time of year it will be released and sort of what the plans are for it. So, I mean, it's always wonderful to get the kind of work and to have the roles that are written that people deem, worthy of the conversation. So I'm grateful for that, but it's never a part of my decision-making, either in accepting a role or how I play the role. So it's been interesting. I've heard so many people, even in doing the press today, we've heard people who have experience with either sort of generational trauma or addiction to hear their personal experience. So I think it really depends on what you bring to the film is what you'll take away.
You've directed so many characters before that are based on real life people. Is that something that you kind of accumulate knowledge of as you approach doing this film?
Certainly, but every time it's new territory because you're dealing with people and you want to respect and honor them, but you can't make any promises that they're going to love everything because you're going to reflect, and particularly a story like Hillbilly Elegy, you're reflecting two very intense periods of crisis in J.D. Vance's life. There's very little that's idyllic or gentle about it. It's intense, one crisis point after another. And so the family had to be aware that I was going to go after the truth. And in a lot of ways, the tougher scenes were the ones that I was the most granular about trying to understand the way they unfolded and what made it happen and play out the way it did.